Community theater, a place where one can make magical memories, especially if the play you're performing is Cinderella, which is what I was in, so I'm going to talk about that. Okay, so first things first, I auditioned for Lionel, which if you don't know who that was, it's basically like, I don't even know how to describe it. He's like the prince's bodyguard / protector, but the audition went so terribly because when I was singing the song, the role is mainly for a deep-voiced male, and I'm not a deep-voiced male, I am a medium-voiced female. And I don't even want to, oh god, it was so awful. If I could go back, I would tell myself to not audition for that character, just audition for anyone else. Because it was so bad, and I don't even want to relive it. Oh god. Because I would go from high to low, and it would be like, I don't even want to try it, but we're going to move on to the next one. Oh, well, that was... Okay, so since I naturally have short hair, and since the time period that Cinderella was set in doesn't really have girls with short hair, I mean, like, they have, like, little bob cuts, but, like, that's probably it. So I had to wear a wig. And this day was opening night, and this was the first time I was wearing my wig, and for some reason, that day, it just wasn't cooperating. By that, I mean, we had to get, like, the techie and the wig guy to, like, bobby pin it onto my head, which normally, like, for the rest of the show days, I wouldn't have much trouble with it. I could just, like, put it on, put, like, 2 bobby pins, and then boom, I'm done. But I had it on, and I had the 2 bobby pins, but, like, I would turn, and then it would fall off my head. So we had to get the director, the wig guy, and some random techie to help, like, get it on my head. So we eventually get it on, and we're in Act 2 of the play. I think it was Act 2. When was Act 2? When did Act 2? Yes, it was Act 2. And we're at the scene where all the girls are trying on the shoe to figure out if, like, they were the person who was Cinderella. So I was the one who went up first, and the first thing that we had to do was we had to fight all these other girls off. And then I was the one who was going up first. I was going to sit in the chair, and what I was supposed to do was he was supposed to, like, try to put the shoe on my foot, but I would, like, yank myself back trying to put it on. But then, obviously, it wouldn't fit. I mean, this shoe actually did fit. But, like, it didn't fit in the play, so then he would rush me up to the other side, and then I would just, like, come back later for the rest, so whatever. Okay, Matthew McConaughey came to see our play. I am not joking. Remember how I told you about that wig? Keep that in mind. So, me and the girls are fighting. I sit down in the chair, and I'm doing this. And I'm doing it, like, super violently. That was, like, I got whiplash and everything. And all of a sudden, I hear the entire audience gasp and go, and I just think, whatever. They're just blown away by my amazing acting. I mean, it was terrible, but still, whatever. So I walk up onto the side of the stage, and, like, into the wings, and everyone was like, you gotta go back, you gotta go back. I was like, I can't go back. It was already And they're like, no. So then my mom comes from behind me because she was also in the play, and she has my wig in her hand. It's like, your wig fell off. And, like, my entire face went white. I just grabbed the wig from her, and I quietly walked back onto my dressing room. And we also had these TVs in our dressing rooms, and I was in this dressing room with, like 23 other girls who were all in the play, because, like, and they were all just looking at me when they came in, like, and I was just like, shut up. I'm never going to talk about this again. But that was probably my favorite story from theater, just because it's so random. I mean, nothing else happened with the wig, so that's good. So the director, whose name I'm going to keep, like, not her actual name for the video, but we're going to call her Barry. Yeah, Barry. So Barry, she used to work at Disneyland, and she was, like, as one of the dancers for, like, the parades. And apparently, she went to some school where she met Matthew McConaughey, and they kept in touch, and they were, like, best friends. And this was the day before opening night. And, like, we were going through one last dress rehearsal, and she said on the, like, we had, like, notes, and then we had pre-notes. Pre-notes were, like, before the play. She was like, everyone remember blah, 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 blah. And the last thing she said was, and we might have a guest speaker tonight. I don't know. He might come. I don't know. And we were all just guessing, like, is it blah, blah, blah? Is it blah, blah, blah? And, of course, my first guess was Alex Brightman, because he's freaking amazing. She was like, no, it's not Alex Brightman. The only clue she gave us was that it was a man. So that's That narrows it down to a lot. But for some reason, she only told like 3 members of the cast, and that was the fairy godmother, Cinderella. It might have just been the 2. I don't remember. But apparently, my mom was talking to the girl who plays Cinderella because they were like best friends. Wait, no, the 3rd person was one of the girls who played the ugly stepsisters. And she was talking to her and she said, I think I know who it is. And my mom was like, who is it? Who is it? And so come time later, I was like, Mom, do you know who it is? And she was like, I think I do. I was like, tell me right now! Because all of us were like, all of the girls who were like my same age and younger were like going around trying to figure out who it was. Because we were all super hyped, like, who's it gonna be? So she like pulled me over to her dressing room, because we were in 2 different dressing rooms. And at this point, there was another woman in there with her 2 sons. And the same dressing room also had a stepmother, but she wasn't in there at the time, so that's not important. But she like pulled me in and she said, I think it's Matthew McConaughey. And the woman, she was doing her makeup and she went like, oh, you shut your dirty little mouth. And she was like, I think it is though. And like, I heard the girl say that. So, okay, at this point I'm like, oh my god, is it Matthew McConaughey? And I'm like, don't tell. And my mom was saying, don't tell anyone. I was like, okay, I won't. So I go up to my dressing room. I know who it is! I mean, I didn't tell anyone, but I just said I probably knew who it was. So we finished the show, and we're told to like go up to the stage for our bows. And like once we're done with the bows, we stay up on the stage, and we're supposed to do like this thing like, someone wins some money, but like we stay there, and we were gonna rehearse it. So we're all on the stage in our assigned spots. And Matthew McConaughey comes up to the stage and takes a picture with all of us. And he even kind of spoke to my mom. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I think there was a photo somewhere. I'll have to like dig to find it, but I will prove to you that I kind of met Matthew McConaughey. And I mean, we didn't speak to each other, but I was sweating bullets like, holy crap, that's Matthew McConaughey. And I mean, like all the other girls were asking like, who was that? There were like a few girls who knew who he was, but I basically told them he did the Koala Man on Sing, and they were like, oh, that's it. But yeah, that was the time I kind of met Matthew McConaughey in theater. Okay, so there was this prop. Okay, so there's this prop piece that we used for the scene where Cinderella's dancing in the ballroom, and then like when you turn it around, it had wheels on it, and it also was like the garden. And there's a scene where Cinderella was like running, like to get away from the prince, and like we had to quickly turn it around and turn it around. Like it was already on the garden scene. They were about to kiss, and then me and this one other girl came around, turned it, and then we like pretended to talk to each other, and then like the prince and Cinderella ran through. Then we had to switch it around again because she was coming down the stairs, and then we had to push it off the stage. But this particular time, while we were pushing it off the stage, like actually no, it was like right after the scene where he puts the shoe on her foot, but like we also, like, I don't remember exactly how it played out, but like for some reason it was there because like they did the whole scene like in the setting of outside. So we came out from nowhere, we pushed it out, and we were supposed to give it to these 2 other guys who were gonna like push it out like further into the green room. So we give it to the 2 guys, and apparently one of them wasn't there and the other one was like super weak. So like, and apparently we did it so fast that like he wasn't able to catch it, and because of that, it ran over a woman's leg. I don't know how, but me and the girl looked at each other like, and of course she made this big, ow! So everyone hears and looks over, and we all start freaking out, panicking, and like, and at that point the director's like, okay, we're gonna do notes now, because like it was close enough to the end, whatever. So we did notes, and I know that she's fine. I don't know where she is now, but I know she's doing better, and her leg is fine. So we did notes, and right before we left, I think like there was only one person there who wasn't Christian. I think he was a Catholic, but we all just did a quick prayer for her to be better. Forgot. And that was that. Okay, so if you're not a part of community theater, you might not know what this game is. I mean, like if you're in theater club in like junior high or high school, you might know what this game is, but it's called Zip Zap Zop, and it's where one player, like you and all your friends stand in a circle, and one player will go zip to one player, and then the other person goes zap to another person, and then the last player goes zop to another person, and then that player goes zip, and then it just like continues on and on. And basically the whole point of the game is to like have your attention like just stay focused for like theater, because like otherwise things like the last story would happen. I mean, it wasn't our fault, but like okay, so we were playing this game and it was on the first night. It was kind of like an icebreaker game, but it was like, so we're playing this game and for some reason I was spaced out and thinking about soap when all of a sudden the prince guy goes zap, and he does it to me, so I'm like, oh soap, and I just pointed to some random person and just I was like, wait, and just everyone started dying laughing. I don't know why I said that. I don't even know why I was thinking about soap, but for some reason I just did. One time I caught Cinderella and Prince Charming kissing. I mean, I think they were rehearsing the scene like where they kissed at the end, but at the same time, like I don't think the director had gone over that part with them, so I was like, oh, and the room was like where we kept all of our food props for this one scene where we were like supposed to throw food everywhere. It wasn't like a food fight, it was just like a so as soon as I see that, I turn around like, okay, never mind, we'll come back later. And I just go and sat down, and my mom, she sees my face all flushed and red, and she's like, what happened? And I just said, I don't want to talk. So that was the end of that. And I don't know if they saw me, but I immediately turned around like, oh. Also, can I just say, I loved Tech Week. It wasn't stressful at all for me. I don't know why people hate it. I mean, I'm sure as like if I go on to do more shows, then I'll start to hate it more. But like, it was pretty mundane and chill for me. I don't really know it. On the very last night of our performance, we're singing our last song. And I don't know if this is gonna happen to me ever again, but all these memories of all these theater moments just start flooding in, and I'm like, holy crap. And I'm singing the song while I'm like crying, and there's this one other lady who starts crying next to me, and then this girl next to me starts crying, and we all start crying. Like everyone who's singing, like we're all facing, like here's the staircase that the prince and Cinderella go up, because this is like their wedding scene, and we're like all waving to them so the audience can't see our faces. So we're waving to them, and I start crying, and I'm like, ugh. Move a mountain like the sky. And at this point, we have to turn around to face the audience and go like, there is music in you. There is music in you. Yeah, it's a very cheesy line, but whatever. So I turn around, and me and these like the entire cast is crying. We were like, there is music in you. And they close the curtains, and we just all run off stage, and we're crying. But we still have to do our bows, so we have to like go back up to the stage, and then we all do our bows, and we're all just still crying like. But we were basically crying for the rest of the day, and it was hilarious. Also, we had this game. This is another game. It wasn't the same, the Zip Zap Zap game, but before the theater, we had like these vocal warm-ups. And one, it was like this song that we would sing like Kuma 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 Vista Whoa Vista Mimi Eskimi Wami. I don't remember the rest of it, but it was really funny, and we were just all just like, it was hilarious because like we would see the prince like start randomly breakdancing. And that brings me to another story. But yeah, those are pretty much all the interesting stories from theater. Bye. So at this point we had started rehearsing in the theater because we had first started filming in like this, not filming, rehearsing in this country club. So we were in the theater, and there was this part where I was supposed to get on a chair. Well, it wasn't a chair, it was like the thing where this pole was, so I wasn't pole dancing, but I had to like get on the thing, and we were like crouching down, because like the lion guy was saying, His Royal Highness Christopher Rupin. And like by each part he said we had to like go down a little bit more. So I first started like up here, then I went like And at this point, the prince is in like the second row, and he's like right in front of me. So like he kind of does like this weird slip back thing, like, and just to cover for that, he just starts twerking, and he just starts to do like. And we had to stop because everyone started dying laughing. Even the director was like, stop. So laughing for like 5 minutes, and then we had to get back up on stage and do the whole thing again.